right, welcome back everybody to another new episode of A Whole New World, where we're here to put a spotlight on positive things happening in the community and developing that positive mindset. I am your host, Jacob New, and as always, we love to start every episode with a dad joke, and so here it comes. Why don't cannibals eat clowns? Because they taste funny. Oh, good old dad jokes. Gotta love them. so, man. So this is actually a follow-up episode. So it's like 36.2. Episode 56.2. I ended up leaving yesterday's episode, and I did not feel that I had done a good job of bringing value to you guys, which is my whole goal. And I want to build you up, and I felt, even just myself, that I left it very, very drab. So, here's our take two. And I'm going to continue by saying again that, you know what, it's okay. That episode I'm gonna leave up because you never know how what reaches other people, and y'all get to know a little bit more about me, and I'm perfectly okay with that. So, but you know, I do want to talk about the importance of coming to know yourself, coming to love yourself, just because it really does make a difference. And I've said before that before you can be in any kind of a successful relationship with other people, whether it's a friendship, a romantic relationship, you got to be able to love yourself, love who you are, embrace your flaws, because other people aren't going to do that for you. And you don't want to be dependent on others. So, one of the first things I wanted to talk about was just that whole thing. We all deal with it. It is social media. And so we're all out there, and what's on social media? All these perfect posts, these perfect lives. Y'all, that's not real life. And I get caught up in it too. And, you know, I'm a big advocate for finding the positive and the good. And so look for those things, but don't get caught up. Everybody, oh wow, they have the perfect body. Oh, they have the perfect life, and that there's no such thing as a perfect body, a perfect life. I guarantee if you talk to those people, they're gonna have things about them, their body, their life that they don't like, and they would love to change. So, I want to say that out there because that is something that we all face. Like I said before, I get caught up in it, and so how is it that we come to love ourselves? And I wanted to just share some other ways. I don't feel like I did a good enough job about this with the last episode, so here we go. The first thing that I was rethinking about is, you know, what's really made a difference in my life is building that relationship with God. And I am a Christian, and that has honestly been a big change in my life. Just knowing that God is there for me. I am a child of God. He loves me no matter what I do. That doesn't mean I don't have consequences for my actions. But I know that He is one that I can always go to, and I can pray to for help and guidance in certain instances. And you know, just because you're praying, that doesn't mean that you don't do anything. He's not going to sit there and be like, you're changed. I don't believe it works like that. He gives us the tools. He brings people into our lives to help us bring about that change. And change requires action, and we need to be able to take that action. So I look at prayer as you're asking for help, but you still need to do the work. Okay, so that's my first tip. And when I think really about when things started to change big for me, and it was when I started to welcome God more into my life. Um, the other thing I want to say is you want to identify what it is that you don't like. Usually, we don't we have this negative self-talk because we don't like something about ourselves. And you know what? It's okay not to like something about yourself, but you don't need to beat yourself up over it. But just identifying what it is exactly that you don't like. So let's say I'm gonna use body image because that's something I've struggled with too. Um, when I look at pictures of me at my wedding, I'm 189 pounds, almost 190. I don't like that. I don't like looking at those pictures. But you know what? That's okay. Um, what we need to do is we need to identify. Okay, so I didn't like that, so I took steps to change that. What are things that trigger that self-talk? Is if you are on social media and you're looking at, wow, their body's so great, or I wish I had that body. Uh, Maybe stay away from that for a little bit and just take time to um, remove those triggers and build yourself up. Um, because I've already talked a lot about how social media is bad, but I mean it can be good. I use it for looking up workouts and stuff, and so um, I, you want to have that balance. So I figure out what your triggers are and do your best to avoid those. But definitely identify what it is that you don't like. You don't like that. You want to be more extroverted. Okay, then that's it. You start working towards that. Figure out some action steps. But you can't really figure out what to do until you've identified what it is that you don't like, what it is that you want to change. And it's okay to want to change things about yourself. That doesn't mean that you're any less than anybody else. Because we're all works in progress, y'all, and that's what's beautiful about life. Everybody has their own thing that they're going through, they're struggling with, and if somebody tells you they're not, they're lying. There's something that bothers them, that triggers them. They just haven't identified it yet, in my opinion. So once you've identified what it is that you want to change, what it is you want to make different about yourself, you know, you gotta look for ways to build yourself up. And I talked about several ways that you can do this. So the last episode, I did say positive affirmations. Those really did work for me. They were definitely, I started to become a happier person by telling myself, you know, you're great. Wake up, post a little motivational saying and say it to yourself over and over every morning. Put something in your wallet, your purse, wherever. Make your screensaver on your phone that saying, so whenever you click open your phone, that's the first thing you see, and it reminds you, hell yeah, I am a beautiful person. I am. So once you've identified it, you want to figure out what steps can I take. And so I love the positive affirmations, and I'm going to stick with the changing your body thing because that's what I'm going through right now. So it's not I hate my body, it's I love my body, and I'm doing this because I want my body to be better. Don't look at it as like, this is disgusting on myself. Like, you know, I'm a beautiful person, and I'm going to make myself even more beautiful by changing my eating habits, by going to the gym, and you know, don't neglect those little things. What you want are some of us can do those big changes. I am not one of those. It's the little things that build up over time. And so I talked about the compound effect and had mentioned about the penny that compounds daily, or doubles daily. And you know, day 1 is a penny. Day 2 is 2 penny, like 2 cents. Then is 4 cents, 8 cents. Now, I like this visual because you don't see results. You don't like, okay, cool. By day 3, I only have 8 cents. Are you kidding me? But like I said yesterday, by day 30, you end up with over $5.3 million with that penny, that one penny, that one single cent that is doubled daily. And so the the whole power of the compound effect and what is that you do something, create one good daily habit, and you just repeat that over and over and over again. And just like the penny, you might not see results for a while. It might be a year out, might be a year, 2 years. It, but you are making those changes, and then all of a sudden, it's just going to be like one day, poof, wow, this is crazy. Like I look phenomenal, or everything's great, and it's like a flip switches, and that's how I think a lot of us we think of these overnight successes. But you hear like it's 7 year overnight success, and it's important to keep that in perspective. And I jokingly tell Trisha, my wife, because we're on this journey together, that it's a marathon, not a sprint. And which really determines your mentality. Just after a month or two, yeah, I didn't see a lot of results, but you know what? I started to notice little changes here and there, and that's what kept me going. And the scale might not reflect what you want, but you gotta look for those little changes. Maybe your pants fit better. You look a little thinner in the face. Okay, it's those things that you want to keep in mind, that and use that to build yourself up, build your confidence. Be like, wow, yeah, I do look. I have a little bit less of a double chin. Mm-hmm. You know, um, but you want to find things as you're on this journey to boost yourself, to build yourself up, because like I am serious. There's a different mentality between sprinters and marathoners, because you have to push through the pain. You can't give up on yourself. And speaking from my own experience, I've been in places where I have, and I regret it, and I start again. And you know, if you have to start again, and you start again, and you start again, okay, great. Hopefully each time that you start, you make it a little bit farther. Okay, one day you will find that you will go the distance, and it'll pay off. So never give up on yourself, guys. Um, some other things you can do that I like, and I've been doing, is you do a gratitude journal. And I've talked a lot about this. I've done one, and I've actually started a new one. And so I've shown it here. I started it yesterday. So I just have those 2 entries, but I do one a day. And just being grateful for one thing, it really does make a difference. And so, and I show that to you mainly just to show you that I'm not just sitting here preaching at you guys. Like, I'm actually doing things that I'm suggesting, and I've noticed the difference. So, positive affirmations, doing a gratitude journal, or just having a journal where you just write about your day. Let those feelings, those emotions out. Maybe that's what you need. I mean, it's going to be different for each of us, and it's important to understand that that's okay. That what I'm doing might not be the same thing that you do, but as long as in my opinion, you are building yourself up, doing things that build yourself up instead of tearing yourself down. Because like I said in the last episode, I've been there where you have that negative self-talk and you're just constantly tearing yourself down, and that's not a good place to be in, y'all. So just take that time, and I really do care about you, and I want you to be successful. And if you're sitting there and you want to make changes, you can do it. Okay, so another thing is that you can do, you might want to go speak with a counselor. I've done it, and I found it very, very helpful. Trisha and I did it before, and we didn't always meet as a couple because, honestly, there were things that I personally needed to work on that she didn't need to work on. So it was having those sessions where it was just me and just talking about things that bothered me and how to work through those incredibly beneficial. I almost feel like it was more beneficial than she and I going as a couple. Um, just because I was like, oh, it gave me a better understanding of myself, my triggers, and sometimes when I get upset, it has nothing to do with her. It's me dealing with something else that happened in my life, different pressures I put on myself, and you know what? It's not fair to her, but it gives me that opportunity to reflect on why am I really upset right now. I'm more self-aware, which is, I think, in my opinion, what a lot of us should be looking to be, is more self-aware about our triggers, our just our different feelings and why we feel that way. So I highly recommend it, and I also addressed this in the last episode, but it's not a sign of weakness to go and get help. I actually think that it says a lot about you as a person, that you're strong enough to admit, I can't do this on my own. Because y'all, we weren't designed to go through life alone. Um, I mean, Adam, going back to the Bible, he was alone for a while, but God gave him Eve, so he didn't go through alone, go through life alone. So we are designed to look for fellowship, designed to be with people, and which brings me to another point. If you're surrounding yourself with people that are also tearing you down, you might want to find new people. Um, Surround yourself with the people you want to be like. If you want to be a millionaire, seek out those successful people that are millionaires, or who are having that success, that can introduce you to more people like that. You want to find people that exemplify the traits that you want to show in yourself. I'm very picky about my personal trainers. I say trainers like I have more than one, but I take advice from in that aspect. I'm not going to go to a personal trainer who is big and overweight, because I'm not convinced that you can get me where I want to be. I'm going to seek out the person that's fit, in shape. They're doing the things that they're asking me to do, and they have what I want, essentially. Like, so, um, which my trainer, I use his Sean. He does the bodylifting competitions and stuff, and so he's in shape, and I'm constantly looking at his Instagram, and he's always posting about different exercises that he's doing and lifts that he's doing, and you can tell that he's in shape, and I trust what he says because of it. So seek out people that you want to be around, and I think this is one of the harder things, because we get comfortable with people, and we and it's hard to say no. I don't want, like, I need to hang out with you less. Some of us maybe not as much, but I know for me, like, I do care a lot about the other people's feelings, and I don't want to hurt their feelings. But maybe that doesn't mean that you say bye for good, but you just hang out with them less, and you surround yourself more of the time with other people. So really, this requires, for us to develop that self-love, requires us to be critical and loving of ourselves, and take the time for us to say, I'm worth it. That's what I think it really comes down to. And we are all made by God, and we are all gifted with certain things. And so I want to re-emphasize that. And remember, that's my belief. But I believe that we're all gifted with certain talents, skills that make us who we are, and we need to just take time and be like, I am wonderful. I am amazing. Acknowledge those good things, and really admit, hey, I am worth it, because you are. Okay. Um, and so I talked about, so again, just to recap, some things that you can do. So once you've identified what it is that you're bothering, that is bothering you, what you want to change, uh, some things you can do on the daily: positive affirmations, gratitude journal, just any kind of journal. Seek out newer relationships, and um, seek help. Get counseling. Talk with some friends. There's some things I'll talk with my friends with again, but there's sometimes I feel that it's better to talk with a counselor because they can give me more tools than maybe my friends. Not that my friends don't want to help me, but like I said, they might not have those tools to help me as effectively. So set yourself up for success and set your friends up for success as well. Okay, you don't want to put them in a position where they feel like they failed you either. So it's okay to ask for help. The other thing that I did want to say is, once you start doing these things, you want to give yourself time. I talk about the daily, doing things daily, and you know, you want to take the positive affirmations. I wanted to be a more positive person. I wanted to see the world in a more positive way. I didn't want little things to ruin my day anymore. So I would tell myself today's gonna be a good day. I'd wake up, uh, literally like I went from stubbing my toe and having a terrible day the rest of the day to being like, okay, that was one instance. The rest of my day is gonna be good. And so just saying that to myself over and over. Now I'm gonna be honest with you guys. The first time I did that, my day wasn't the best day. I didn't have that mindset yet. It takes time to develop that, and I wanna stress that because in today's world we get everything now. We have Amazon Prime. We get next day shipping. We stream things live, and I think we lose sight of that things take time. Good things take time. Success isn't an overnight thing. Even though we might see it, there's many years that have gone into that of no's and letdowns and failures, building yourself back up, that lead to that one point where everybody's like, wow, look at that person, that overnight success. And so it just doesn't happen like that. So I really care for you guys, and I want to make sure that we all understand, and that you remind yourselves that it does take time, and that's okay. Some of us it takes longer. That's fine, because there are certain things that when you start to change that mindset or change that way that you feel, you notice those things, and guess what? You're going to start feeling more confident. And when you're more confident, you're going to attract more people towards you, because I don't know about y'all, I'm attracted to people who are confident themselves. I love, because there's something about me being confident in who I am that I build other people up too. I want to be around those types of people. And so you'll find that too, that as you are building your confidence, you're building your self-love, that you're going to be encouraging, you're going to be building other people up too. And that's a great feeling, looking back and seeing that you're able to positively impact other people will make you feel better than anything that I can ever describe. So yeah, you're gonna notice that. You're gonna notice a change in your relationships, your friendships, and maybe it's that you have new friends, and so you're like, wow, these we're doing things that I would never have done with these people. We're going on cool trips. We're going out. We're seeing the world. Where I'm learning so much more. Or maybe it's a change in your romantic relationship. You're finding a new love, and you've let go of some other negative relationships in the past that you were in, and that just wasn't healthy. It was very toxic for you. That's awesome. You've realized, hey, I'm not worth this. I'm worth so much more. And so these are all hard conversations, in my opinion, to have sometimes, but necessary for you to be healthier. And when you start to love yourself, I've talked about the confidence already, but you will notice things changing for you, and things are going to start going in a better direction. So, as a wrap up, I just wanted to say, I love you guys, and I care a lot for you guys, and so it's never too late to go back and fix some things. Like I said, I'm leaving the last episode up. I'm not happy with it because, like I said, I felt leaving that way. It was very drab, and I didn't. My point was to give an example and to build you up, and I didn't feel like I did better at building that up. So hopefully you got something better out of this episode. But you know what? To recap the things that I've talked about during this episode, I highly recommend that you get more involved in your faith. Build a stronger relationship with God. And remember, I am a Christian, and so that builds me up, and that's really made a difference in my life. And so He's helped bring people into my lives, like I have more than one, have brought people into my life to change me and have helped answer my prayers. Now, I do need to take that action. So the action that I recommend is first identify what it is that's causing you to feel this way. Once you've identified it, then you can start taking steps. What steps do you want to take? Do you want to go the positive affirmation route? Give yourself those positive vibes daily, hourly, whatever you want to be, or whatever you want to do. Set it as a screensaver on your phone. So every time you click it, you're like, oh yeah, I'm an amazing person. Gratitude journals, just a journal where you're writing about your day, letting the feelings out, putting something positive in. This and this happened, but you know what? This was something positive from today. Just one positive thing. Going to talking with friends, having them keep you accountable, or just going to see a counselor. All those things are great, and they build up over time. Remember, change takes time, and it can be frustrating because we want change now, but it will take time. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So, and just find different ways to build yourselves up. And maybe you choose to do something I didn't list here. That's great. Share it. I highly encourage you to share that too. Because we are all a community, and we need to rely on each other to build each other up. So do those things and be consistent with it. The biggest thing is whatever you choose, whatever you decide, the action step that you want, make sure that you can do that daily, hourly, whichever. And I recommend just starting with one thing, because we can all make one change daily. That's, for me, not overwhelming, and it's definitely doable. And that one thing builds up and eventually make it two things, and you know what? Over time, you will see a difference. I can promise you that. So, and just rely on God. I think I'm a big person of faith, and I do believe that He has a lot to do with where we are and where we're heading. And we got to have trust, and He makes good out of the bad. So that wraps it up for this episode. So I really want to thank you guys for listening to this, and as always, I'm going to change this one up a bit and use it, but if you only learn to do one thing, y'all, I pray that you learn to love yourself. Thank you guys for listening today, and y'all have a fantastic day.